So I first want to talk about what the government have announced today to try and end the protests at the moment. But the one thing I want to talk about, and I think we have to talk about this in Irish society, and I think the government need to realise this, and I think everybody needs to realise this, that not even just the cost of fuel, the cost of living, we look at other parts of our society, health service, we look at crime figures, we look at immigration and stuff, and all these issues are coming to a boiling point. We've seen it with immigration just 2 years ago, with the stabbing outside the school. These things are coming to a boiling point in Irish society, and there's a real risk. And no, people might laugh at this, but there's a real risk that it could turn into revolution or it could turn into civil war. And to be genuinely honest, that's what it's turned into because people are struggling. A lot of people are struggling out. There's so many children going to bed at night with no food, and they're getting up in the morning, they have no food to eat. They have to decide, parents have to decide between heat or feeding their children and stuff. It's desperate stuff, and this is supposed to be one of the richest countries in the world. And you really would think this is the third world, to be totally honest. And the way the government treats people is utterly appalling. And they just simply don't care. And it's not like they don't understand in a lot of cases. They don't care. Simple as that, and that's just pure and simple. Obviously, people are overtaxed, overworked too, and the government and the TDs are getting well paid. They're not in any worried about poverty or anything. But I do think there is a risk in this country that there will be civil war sooner or later. There will be, like, there's no doubt about it, because the inequality that's happening at the moment, and this is the thing, the inequality, the anger, and I don't think people understand this, the pure anger and pure rage that is across the whole country with the policies of this government when it comes to immigration, when it comes to the cost of living, that the TDs are living the life of Wiley, and the only working class Irish person that's paying their wages are struggling to make ends meet, and they shouldn't be. And it's a shame 110 years after these the rising that so many Irish people are struggling to make ends meet. Meanwhile, we're giving money away to everybody else in the world. And it's just a simple fact. There's no money for the Irish, but there's money for the West. It doesn't make any sense. Don't know why, but logic doesn't proceed. But it is a real danger in this country that it will turn into a civil war. Eventually, it really is, because the anger that's out there, it's immense. And I don't know, does the government fully grasp the anger? I don't know, do they fully grasp it? Do they fully see when they look on social media? No social media and that, but even people talking this week, everywhere you go, they were saying about the petrol price, the cost of living, the electricity bill, and people are sick and tired of it because they hear the politicians yap from each side, Sinn Féin, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, whoever. They're all the fucking same at the end of the day, because at the end of the day they keep yapping and yapping and yapping, but there's no action. There's no action. It's all talking shop. It's all a puppet show, because they say, oh, Brussels are telling us this and Brussels are telling us that, but it's all just a puppet show. And let's be fair, it is all just a puppet show. And the people have been taken for fools, and that's just the simple thing. And again, the people shouldn't be taken for fools, and the people from now on will probably be taken for fools, because this government has showed utter contempt. The whole system is rotten. The whole system is out to get people, and that's just to put it straight. The whole system, every part of the system is out to get people, and it's simple as that. We look at the young people nowadays; they can't build, they can't even make a life for them. They can't even get off the ground before they even get anywhere. They can't even get off the ground. It's simple as that. There's so many young people they can't get anything. They can't even make a life for themselves. They put themselves through college and they have huge debts trying to get into the college, get an apartment, a student apartment, trying to get out of their house, their parents' house, and they can't make it. Simple as that. They can't get there, and then the government are taking money off them, sucking the money off of them, and they're working 40 hours. It's utterly disgraceful. And then they have to emigrate. It's totally insane. And again, I'm going off on a tangent here, but it's very important because the anger is extreme. And again, and I don't think the government realises this, but there's huge anger, not just on the cost of living, immigration, the HSE. We look at even crime tables. People are terrified to walk in their local town at night. And not even that too. We look at other parts of Irish society, it's fallen to bits. And it's simple that people can't afford to pay the rent. People every week are struggling to stay in a place with shelter. And no matter homeless people, we could write the book on it. And they wonder why people are very angry and very annoyed. They wonder why, because this is not just a thing that's happened today. It's been happening for the last few years. It's nearly like an agenda, to be totally honest. It's nearly like they want it, and they probably do in a way too. But this is the thing. I want to just talk about the measures the government have implemented today to deal with this protest, and hopefully they don't stop. Hopefully there's protests in every town and every village, and for the next 7 months, to be genuinely honest, because I don't think this government's listening. Because at the end of the day, they haven't been listening for years. They haven't been listening to people. They've just ignored people. The only time they generally kind of listen is when the election comes around. But after that, they couldn't give a damn. People have been saying, but the cost of living, it's for the last few years, and the government basically couldn't give a damn. They didn't do anything to help any. But they done something before the election, just before they were going to. The election was called. They done then, but nothing ever was done after that. But yeah, they're talking about spending 5.5 million no, 500 million, excuse me. And they're talking about cutting by 10 cents a litre for petrol and diesel. 10 cents. You have 10 cents back. Here's 10 cents. You owe nothing to be happy. Here's 10 cents. And then obviously they're talking about green diesel, which was very important for the farmers. They wanted a huge reduction in the green diesel. They're talking about cutting it by 2 cents, pretty much, 2.4 cents. Now, you go mad in it. We buy the country out of it. Now, they're talking about they should probably go rid of the carbon tax altogether. They would, because it's just sucking in money. Like, they're taking in so much money in the carbon tax. It's insane, along with other duties. But the carbon tax, the only kind of, because it was supposed to be an increase. Imagine they were talking about an increase in May. They were going to have an increase in May, which would have been insane if they would have went ahead and done that. But they're only temporary, and this is temporary. This is, they're not saying we're going to get rid of it altogether. It's only temporary to the budget in October. So come October, the increase is put on, and that'll be it. So yeah, they just don't give a shit, and you wonder why people are very angry, because this is not like a solution for good. This is just a temporary solution to get people to shut the fuck up. Because they wanted to send the army and they wanted to send the water cannons in. But, unfortunately, it didn't frighten people. Unfortunately for the government, it didn't frighten people. Nobody was afraid of them. And they shouldn't be afraid of this government. The government should be afraid of the people. That's really what they should be. Especially with all the stuff they're doing. They should be very afraid of the people. Because the people are being pushed to the limits. Like, people are being pushed to the limits. People are struggling to survive and stuff. People are very, very, very angry. Like, I can't foresee, and I'm 23 years in this earth. Like, the last 4 years in this country, the boiling point, like, it's way above, way gone above anything I ever seen when I was younger. The level of distrust, the level of anti-government sentiment, it's above and beyond. I don't think you could. I can't even put into words. In every community in this country, and that's going to go somewhere. Unfortunately, there will be riots. There will be something sooner or later. Like, it's inevitable. But that anger is going to go somewhere if it's not addressed, because it's been kicked down the road. The same as migration. It was always kicked down the road, and then when something happened, it just exploded. We all remember Newtown Kennedy. We remember Dublin City Centre, the stabbing. That exploded because of just been kicked down the road constantly, kicked down the road and not addressed. And that's what happens. And unfortunately, this will happen someday here. It just all depends what's the spark. What will be the spark that ignites the fuse? And we all see in the next few days, I suppose, when that happens. But I personally don't think this country has lost. I think the politicians are just totally tone deaf, to be totally honest, and just don't give a shit, to be genuinely honest with you. Because they should see this. They should see this. I can see this. That there's huge tension, and I see it myself every day going to work. And I know people from my school and type of stuff. I know I'm going on here a bit, but just to explain to you that I see so many young people my age, and they're twenties. They're trying to make ends meet. They're trying to get a family together. They're trying to get a mortgage. They're trying to get somewhere to live. In some cases, just to rent, not even to buy. And they're working. They're going out and working a day's work. And in some cases, they're going to college and doing hard working, studying hard to try and get a good degree, to get a good job. And then, sadly, in a lot of cases I see now, they'll come out of college, there's nothing for them. They'll do a big degree, they spend thousands of euro, they'll take out loans, spend thousands of euro, they come out, there's nothing for them. And then they have to emigrate. It's real anger, there's real anger about that, because this is the future generation. They're treating them like shit. They're treating them like actual shit. Like, prisoners of war treated better than some young Irish people particularly. And then we look at everything else, like, where should I start? But the homeless figures just keep going up and up and up. And it's just unfortunate that so many people like that. Because again, the reason why it's keep going up and up and up, because people are struggling. A lot of people on the breadline. As we speak at the moment, there could be 10, 15 families within the next week or two could be homeless because the landlord's going to evict them because they can't afford to pay the rent increase. And this is what's happened across the country, in every parish, in every town, in every village, in every city. And the government sit down to fuck all. And let's be fair. And I nearly would say, and Micheál Martin and stuff, they should all go. Like, they should be all going. They should all go. And simple as that. I nearly would say they should all go to prison, but I'd be happy if they went. They probably should go to prison too, but they should all probably go for, at least if they went, then we maybe won't put them in prison, but we'll consider it. Let's put that way. There's a lot of stuff, particularly, that Micheál Martin has come out with and stuff, probably should be a prisonable offence. Because to be genuinely honest, some of the stuff that's been done in this country, should be prison for the rest of their lives, to be totally honest, in some of these cases. But it's absolutely abhorrent what's happening in this country. And I'd be generally honest and open with you. It's absolutely abhorrent. And it has to be changed. It really, really has to be changed in this country. because for far too long people have been abused, and that's the simple that this is abuse. This is abuse by the state, by the government, and refusing to listen in a lot of cases. And it's just the simple truth, and unfortunately it's just the reality. And I have to be honest with you when I say this, and I'm being totally upfront and honest with you where I'm seeing it, because I'm seeing it on the ground and stuff, and many people are seeing it themselves. That it's just all this is culminating in this up, and I've said this for years, that the amount of anger it's at boiling point. It really, really is. It's just when the anger's going to boil over, and that's the next question. Really, when it is really going to boil over, and we have to try and find solutions to try and get out of that, to try and find a way out of that, to try and understand people. But there's no attempt from the government, as we've seen, to understand people. Just send in the army. That'll sort it. So they said, but it didn't work out too well with them. But yeah, let me know what you think. Yeah, as I say, it's a very worrying situation in this country. It is really, really worrying. Thank you.